You have to do that because what we are seeing is so much of AI gets discredited as it's FOMO, it's just hype, it's not real. So if you think about the prompt lifecycle, it actually doesn't start with extracting data or writing prompt. It starts with understanding the purpose, right? What is the business use case? What is the ROI? What is the expected out? As commonsensical as it sounds, you would be surprised at how many of these things are done by people who are actually not at all thinking about the legit business case. You have to do that because what we are seeing is so much of AI gets discredited as it's FOMO, it's just hype, it's not real. I've seen a lot of online stuff about Microsoft Copilot and some of these other offerings. The fundamental point is if the business use case is missing, all of this is rather pointless. Once you identify a business use case, then you can think about the prompt aspect of it, right? What is the sort of command for AI processing? What's the format of output we are expecting from AI? Do we need to do grounding around it? Things like that. The third part of this is what data do we have that actually aligns well with that prompt and to the purpose? They may be in standard object, custom object, managed package objects. They may be in standard or custom fields, all of that information. And this is a very fundamental difference when you think about doing prompt engineering. You may not have to be a developer for this. You're actually better served in this if you're a really sharp admin or a business analyst who understands how these fields are used, how these objects are used in the business side. So having greater business context is actually more important than the underlying technical context for this. Anyway, if you understand that, you can identify the data context, the security and masking requirements, what information are we sending, what are we recording inside Salesforce, things like that. You then want to test and optimize. This step is crucial because prompts tend to behave differently with different AI models. So if you're using OpenAI on Azure versus Vertex, you'll get different results. You have to constantly validate results, particularly if you have a bring your own model architecture and you may have different models you're working with, which is something we support, right? The other part of this is in addition to validating the result, this is a very iterative process. You will do something, the result looks good, you tweak it, you do it again. For the same prompt, you may get different results. So you may add a lot of grounding to make sure that a lot of that result is fairly predictable, right? And that tweaking and data of data and prompts and grounding is the heart of some of this. Finally, once it's working, you want to publish it to your users. And the idea here is you want it to be able to deploy it based on users, based on their profiles, based on record types. You want to catalog them, have versioning around it, make sure that you are doing a very production grade version of it. These are some areas that a lot of people glaze over today because they go, oh yeah, we'll do that right now. You're seeing it. But a lot of our customers are in production or actively marching towards production. And these are things that they think about. They want to have an extreme degree of control in management and administration of these prompts. And finally, how do you track the ROI and usage? Can you track how much time it saved, how much money it saved your users? Who are your power users? Which are the most well-used prompt, things like that. And we have built instrumentation around that. We have ROI dashboards and stuff. But the point is, regardless of, again, what solution you use, these are things you want to think about from a holistic standpoint on prompt lifecycle. And finally, this is the Kaizen idea, right? Like constant improvement. So you have something, you look at usage, you identify gaps, you optimize, innovate, so you keep iterating on it. So that's the idea of we do all of those things, all of the things that are here in GPT-5.